Awesome, great. Thanks for the warm introduction, Kisu. Code and community, what it's like to be a developer and advocate. So a really important aspect of being a developer advocate is about storytelling. So I cannot actually talk about storytelling without mentioning one of my huge hobbies for the last few years, which is Dungeons and Dragons. And fun fact, I was actually running the D&D session like an hour before, and here is my Lego setup for the D&D session. So yeah, it's a huge hobby of mine. And in general, it's about role-playing, where players or where people are meeting to play certain roles. So for example, I am playing as a dungeon master, where I'm creating a story, I'm running the adventure, and other players are joining as players. So they are, for example, a halfling rogue, or a dwarf a barbarian, or for example, a human wizard, and so on and so on. So each of us plays a certain role. And as our adventure progresses, we have certain encounters, we have fights with the enemies, we have situations where we need to talk to certain people just to get some information, maybe try to get some quests from them, maybe get some rewards, try to persuade them to give us a bit more for the quest we did, and so on and so on. So to have a great D&D session, you need to have a very wide group of people in general. So you have to have a person who is good in combat, a person who is good in casting spells, a person who is a bit sneaky, and also a person that can, for example, heal other players so that the party can survive. And what if we have a situation where someone is missing from some such team? So we don't have our core value or our core aspect of the team. And in that place, it would be awesome to have someone who we can call Jack of all trades. So Jack of all trades is a person that is not a specialist in one specific area. It's more like a person who is versatile in several skills, instead of being a mastermind in one area. And this is exactly what a D&D bard is. Is a person who can cast some spells, he can do some slight combat, he can also play on his guitar or different instrument, and is really a person that can easily persuade other players. It's also a support character, and so on and so on. Also can do a bit of sneaking. So what it's like to be a developer and advocate? In my opinion, it's almost like being a D&D bard. My name is Jakub, and after this short introduction, you already know that I am a big fan of D&D, but professionally, I work at Monterail as a full-stack developer and advocate. Monterail is a software agency where we focus on delivering services related to Vue.js, to Next, to AI. So if you're looking for a project, to build a project, we are happy to help. We have experience in those areas, but we also do a lot for the community. I will be talking about it a bit later on. And my favorite framework of choice is Next, where I'm also part of the ecosystem team. Ecosystem team means that I'm helping maintain certain modules. Maybe you have used Next Security or Next Image or Next Cloudinary. Those modules I help the core team to maintain. And I'm also a Google developer expert in web performance, which means that I value performance a lot. So how does it work to be a developer and advocate? As a developer, you usually do a lot of stuff mentioned here. So you gather some requirements, you design some solution, you program or code it, you need to do some collaboration, testing, a lot of stuff related to technical skills. So there is already a lot of things here. If we talk about the other aspect about being the developer advocate, you have other areas. We have engagement, impact, enablement. Engagement, do we build right relationships, maybe with some partners? Impact, are we helping the company be successful? Enablement, are we helping developers be successful? For me personally, the last one is not as crucial, because in Monterail, we're not building a product. We are rather an agency, but we still try to help developers either inside in our company or outside by advocating solutions and doing workshops to make them successful. So combining those two into one means like a very hard to do challenge. So how do I do it? So for example, in March, I was in Amsterdam, first time for me to speak at the Vue.js Amsterdam conference, which is, I believe, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Vue.js related on-site conference. And in there, I was showcasing one of our open source initiatives or initiatives for the community that we created as Monterail, which is State of Vue.js Report 2025. If you're interested in reading this report, it has a lot of insights from the Vue community, like response from the community members, expert contributions, case studies of Vue, very useful stuff. You can go to monterail.com/stateofvue. It's all free, available for you to just see, download, and so on and so on. So public speaking, right? But I also do regular coding, which means that I build internal tools, I build the tools for the customers, I try to also spend time on doing the some in some way pre-sale stuff, so talking to the customers before they are actually coming as a customers of the company, also recruiting new developers to the company. So these things I do as well. During the Vue Amsterdam conference, I also was responsible for organizing a discussion panel we had with the speakers, including Evan Hu, including Daniel Rowe, Alex, who is also here, Daniel Kelly, and Luella. So all of them, we were doing a really, really nice discussion about state of Vue and Vue and Next in general. But apart from just appearing in other events, I also organize events in on our side, let's say. So, for example, last month or 2 months ago, we had the Vue.js meetup at Montreal office, one after a very, very long break before I even joined the company. So we did the meetup. It was really nice to gather Vue folks from Wrocław, from the city where I live. So it's another kind of challenge to advocate. And finally, I also do workshops, and mainly internal ones, just to educate the developers we have on the team so that they are more proficient with the technologies such as Vue and Next. So it is actually a lot of stuff, so it would be useful to find the right balance, right? So that we just won't fall and just give up, that it's too much on our heads. So in my case, it's 60% for development and 40% for advocacy. And the things that I mentioned to you previously, they are all doable in this, let's say, ratio, 60 development, 40 advocacy. And why I believe this is a great combination, I mean, being a developer and advocate, I would like to tackle this subject from two different areas. First of all, from the aspect of regular developer advocate, who may switch or transition to developer and advocate. So what I usually hear from my friends who are like regular developer advocates is that at certain point they are not sure if they can code well anymore. So it's a trap of trying to, for example, create content, create events, create projects for the community where you try to make them try to make the developer experience better. You try to make the relations with the developers better. You focus on it full time, so your technical skills are not progressing as they would do if you were a developer. So some of the guys that I know, they mentioned that, for example, if they are focusing on full time on developer advocacy or developer relations, they consider switching to developer role once again because they love coding, and right now they're focusing mainly, for example, on the content, such as blog posts, tutorials, documentation. The other one is the developer who might want to switch to developer and advocate. And in my case, the issue with just being a developer was lack of community events and just being part of this amazing tech community that we are all building. And in here, I have two pictures, one from the Vue Amsterdam, one from Vue.js London. They are 2 years apart. The same group, which we call a Vue.js conference gang, where we meet from time to time on the different conferences. So basically, being a developer and advocate gives you opportunity to join the best from two worlds. So still be a developer, still enjoy writing code, and be part of the amazing community, do something back for the community, like events, participate in them, organize them, basically be a part of something bigger. So this maybe sounds amazing for you. If so, you would probably ask, how can I start today, right? I don't have that much time to go through everything that you could do today, but I have written an article about it. It's called What is DevRel? So it's not 100% the same as developer advocacy, but the title is What is DevRel and how we can start doing it today. You can go to my blog. I will also have a link later on, but it's at Jakub Andrzejewski / What is DevRel and how we can start doing it today. And in it, I basically listed down all the steps that I did as a start of becoming a DevRel / developer advocate. So we can follow them, see what you can implement also in your daily life if you enjoy or would like to be someone like a developer and advocate. So few final notes from my side about development and advocacy. The tech world is changing constantly, right? We have the evolution of AI, we have evolution of frameworks, new versions, new packages, and so on. New ecosystems are happening all the time. So to survive in it, we need versatility and adaptability. So you probably need to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So I would say be like a Dungeons & Dragons bard, be versatile, be able to adapt to constantly changing technology. And let's stay in touch. If you'd like to reach me to talk about D&D, about software development, developer advocacy, or basically anything that I mentioned here, you can find me at Jakub Andrzejewski. This is my tag that I usually use in my social media. I have a blog at Dev2 where I post weekly about Vue, Next, performance, and developer advocacy as well. I also have accounts on X and Blue Sky where we can have a chat. And I also have a YouTube channel where I occasionally release some video tutorials, usually about Next. So that will be it from my side. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, I believe it's my part of the story.
Hey, thanks a lot. Just so that you know, I'll try to push Jakub a bit more on YouTube, so that way he posts there more often very soon. But in the meantime, yeah, we'll stick to meetups and regular advocacy. Few questions. Again, thanks for the talk. A few questions. What do you think is the most rewarding when you combine those two roles of developer and advocate?
That's a tricky one, I would say, because there are many things that I personally enjoy about such a role. First thing that comes to my mind, it's something that I actually wanted to put in the slides, but then decided to use something else, is that if you don't like to get bored, like at your work, doing just one thing, developer and advocacy will give you that. Because honestly, I don't have any minute to be bored at work because we have so many initiatives. Like there are so many ongoing topics, like the things we could do with the community, the open source projects that we might want to build at a certain point. How we can use technology like AI to make our development faster and easier. For example, some time ago, I was also doing a sort of proof of concept of a tool we call it's like work in progress name, but we call it N0, which is strangely familiar to V0, but it's
indeed.
built with the bold DIY, and we have set it with the rules to make the best like next application we can think of. So my work, as I mentioned, is like mix of basically everything related to technology right now, technology, events, content in general. So that was a long answer, but in general, the fact is that if you are having such a role, you don't have a minute to be bored, because if you finish one thing, there's already like 10 more interesting topics to do. So my to-do list is always full, let's say.
Otherwise, you can also just ship some poor quality code and have bugs all day, and then you're also busy every day. That's also one approach.
That's a good one.
Thanks. How do you proceed into creating content that is relevant to developers?
That's a really important one. So what I find extremely useful when you're a developer and advocate is that you still code, you still develop stuff. Like you create projects, you build stuff either for yourself, for your company customers. So you still code, so you still see the struggles, you still encounter issues. One of the most written articles on my blog is actually something that I never thought would be that popular, which is an article about ESLint and writing local rules. Because at the point that I wanted to do it in my work project, there was no official documentation nor guide or of any sort that would guide you how to do it. And at that point, ESLint was purely JavaScript, so there was no like TypeScript completion or anything. So what you needed to do is you needed to guess what you will get there, what will be the object you can, what the properties will be there, and what you can use, how it's supposed to work. So I tried like with guessing what would be the optimal solution. I created it and it was working. So instantly I thought, okay, if I haven't found an answer for it on the internet easily, it means that there is something missing. Let's write about it. And up until today, I believe this article has around 50,000 views, something like this, which is okay, really nice, I would say. Right now, the article is obsolete because I think 1 year ago or 6 months ago, ESLint already added just the tutorial about that. So my article is no longer needed. But 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when I needed that, there was no article about that, and my article was actually the source of truth about writing local ESLint rules.
Yeah, it's also you have so many topics, so that way you always have a niche that's not covered. So
yeah. So in general, if you're a developer, still you know the problems because you encounter them. You try to search for the answer. You don't see it on documentation. You don't see it on some kind of articles. Some kind of AI help doesn't help there. So you have the problem, you solved it, then you can write content about it, and then you see in the comments usually people also mentioned, oh, it's nice that you created this guide because I had the same problem, right?
Yeah, it's also a matter of staying in touch with what you do, so that we're not too disconnected. Yeah, indeed. Especially since like things move quite quickly. So yeah, perfect. Thanks a lot. Any last words? You're the last speaker of the day, so you can go hard on anything. Like,
ooh, interesting. I would, if I would have to go hard on something, I would probably go on the AI development.
okay.
But not that it's bad, but about if you're experienced enough, you see where AI currently has limits.
Yeah.
So it's great where you can, for example, ask AI about something, and it gives you an answer, and then you can say, no, it's not the correct answer. And then it says, yeah, you're right, because there is something else that I didn't take into consideration, and so on and so on. And you're like, yes, I still got it.
Okay, that's a good hot take to finish the conference. Perfect. And we'll try to be careful about what we read online. We'll try to double check it with content written on Dev2 by experts or by actual humans. So yeah, thanks to you, and speak to you very soon. Have a nice day, Jakub.
Thanks for having me. See you. Bye.